As a teacher, I suffer from this notion of teacher bladder, right? And what that is it's a, I guess, syndrome or symptom of having to hold yourself for long periods of time, usually because you cannot leave a child or children unattended in a classroom. And so for me, this may be about 40 minutes, even sometimes longer. And so what happens is over time, you train yourself to hold yourself for a very, very long time. And anyone who's a teacher knows exactly what I am talking about. Or even if you are in another profession where you have to hold yourself for long periods of time. And I've even taught myself to not drink water or only drink water in times when I know that I'm going to have access to go to the bathroom or I'll have access to a break. Even now, though I am no longer in the classroom, I still keep up with this practice. I notice that sometimes I'll negotiate when I want to relieve myself, and usually it's after doing about 3 to 5 things that I think are so important that need to get done, right? And I've noticed that this behavior is something that's trickled into my life even outside of work. So when I was on maternity leave, I noticed that even while I was home, I would hold myself for as long as I could, running around trying to do other things. Um, I'm at the age now, I'm 38 years old, and I'm at a point where I have to wear a panty liner every day. Because I didn't listen when people were saying, hey, don't do that. It's not good for you, right? I found other reasons to say that this was important. What I've also realized is how this behavior, putting myself last, has been a trait that has been present throughout many facets of my life, including relationships. I realized that while no one could see it happening, I put every relationship that I deemed important before my own mental and physical health. And I'm not talking about, minor relationships, but these are relationships that I thought were important and they could have been platonic. And it's not until I'm about to leak that it becomes public knowledge that something is wrong, right? This behavior is toxic and dangerous for me. What's even worse is that it's self-inflicted and it's something that is within my control to change, yet I'm so used to it and I have been so used to it for so long that it goes unrecognized. And even from a natural standpoint, right? I have to tell myself now, go to the bathroom, Michelle. Put yourself first. Like, who cares if the baby is crying? Who cares if somebody needs you to send them something or they called you somewhere? Go to the bathroom if you have to. And so, awareness is my word of gratitude for the day. I'm grateful for the level of self awareness that I am choosing to exercise in this season. I can't address what I can't see. I'm grateful for eyes, ears, feelings, and the mindset that's necessary to become aware of the me that I show up as. I don't always choose me. And by putting myself last, it leaves me feeling depleted, used up, and even hurt. And here are a couple of ways that I've shown myself that I have not been choosing me. I choose not to make time for things that I say I don't want to do. Let me pause because if you find yourself here, I want you to raise your hand, like physically identify, because I promise you this message is for you and it's going to help you. I will start over. I choose not to make time to do the things that I say I want to do. I choose to scroll through social media aimlessly. Hey, so sorry. I had to interrupt really quickly to tell you about an amazing resource that is betterhelp.com, which is an online therapy service that I can speak for. When I tell you talking to a licensed therapist has helped me get to the root of my issues, sis, you definitely want to jump on this. BetterHelp will match you with your own licensed professional therapist, and you can start communicating in under 24 hours. There's a broad range of experts on the network, so you do not have to worry about what you want to discuss. There is somebody who is waiting to talk to you. I promise you, this could be the best conversation that you ever have. And Progress on Purpose podcast listeners get a special discount of 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/POP. And I'm telling you, you don't want to miss out. Visit betterhelp.com/POP and start that conversation today. It may be the best and most important conversation that you have in your life. That's betterhelp.com/POP. BETTERHELP.com/POP. Okay, let's get back to the show. I choose to lay down knowing that 5 to 10 minutes of sustained, focused effort is better than doing nothing at all. I choose the language that I use and how I speak to myself and how I speak to others. I choose who I keep around me. I choose my battles. I choose. So the question becomes, when will I make better choices? What will it take for me to choose what's better for me? The things that I don't like about my life are mine to change. The truth is that my future is bright and beautiful, and I choose to possess it. Exodus 16, when I was reading this a couple of nights ago, I looked at the Israelites because I was thinking about who in the Bible was choosing to do something contrary to what they know God could do. And I thought about the Israelites, how they just complained and complained and complained, knowing that God had already brought them out of Egypt. They could not see past their issues, their feelings, to trust God enough in that time um, after being brought out to have God provide for them. And so I asked myself a question: am I like that? Am I continuously choosing not to act on what I know to be true? I know that God has plans for my life. Why am I choosing to not act upon them? Right? And so what I learned is I got to make better choices. And if you find yourself here, I mean, I am speaking for me, right? But if you find yourself here, again, raise your hand so that you can acknowledge, you too can acknowledge and be aware of where you are and then change, right? So we have to make better choices. And just like how my present choices often are second nature, like choosing not to do the things that serve me best, I'm going to work on and I'm working on training myself to make better choices so that those better choices become second nature. And I choose to serve myself better. I speak this into my spirit. These are things that I have written down to speak into my spirit, and I speak them into yours. I choose to celebrate my wins daily. I choose to advocate for my needs. I choose to express my happiness freely. I choose to share my ideas without fear or judgment. I choose to separate myself from situations and people who cause me to question my thoughts or judgment. I choose to speak life to dead and dormant situations. I choose to be made whole. Life and death lie in the power of my tongue. I choose life. I choose positivity. I choose to avoid negativity. I choose to see the good in myself and others. I choose to make the amount of money that I choose to make in 2025. I choose my next home, which will be more spacious and grand. I choose peace in my home. I choose love unfeigned in my home. I choose to shut my mouth and pray. Over and over again, I choose me. I choose to plan to be more efficient, timely, and prepared. If you find yourself in a place where you know, you are now aware that you have not been choosing to be your best, to show up as your best, to honor yourself, I implore you to choose differently. Make better choices. For me, I recognize how my choices have impacted my life, how it's impacted the way that I think, the way that I see life, how I am showing up in these days. And though there's a lot of good, right, I still desire more. I'm grateful for every experience and every opportunity, and I want more for my life. And so it's incumbent upon me to make better choices. And that's the same, and that's what I want to leave with you today. Make better choices for yourself. Understand where you are. Be aware, be honest with yourself. Know what you desire. Write those things down and go after them unapologetically. Okay? I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.